Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and guests, if you were to drive down to Myrtle Beach with me, it takes about 5 hours, we'd be driving past a lot of fields and we'd see in them all sorts of different cows, wouldn't we? We'd see ones that are brown cows, we'd see black and white cows. Imagine if we saw a purple cow in the field. We'd stop, we'd say, what is that? And we'd always remember that, wouldn't we? Well, so it is with speaking. If you want your speech to be remembered, make sure there's a purple cow in your speech. Seth Godin wrote a book, a marketing book on purple cows. That's the title. And that's the whole thesis of it. You have to be different. If you are not seen, you are invisible. If your message or your descriptions are not remembered, you are invisible. So how can you make your speech a purple cow? Every speech you give, you should ask yourself, how can I purplize that speech? Here is one way to do it. I've just gone through my house and found little things at home that will help do that. It'll give people something to remember. For example, I have this camera. Everyone's got a camera, right? Even on your cell phone. Well, if I was to take this photo, smile please. Excellent. If I took that photograph now and blew it up, the whole size of that wall, who would be the first person each of you look for in that photograph? Yes. Let me ask another follow-up question. Who here in this room, apart from newlyweds, has received too much praise this past month? Not one. Not one. Which tells us, of course, that there is a shortage of praise in life. Which leads on to a speech saying, why don't we recognize and praise other people? So you see what I did? I took a purple cow, took your photograph, got you all matched. You'll remember that. Because not everybody takes a photograph at the start of a speech, do they? Let's go through some other little tricks. I found in my little thing there, things like this. I found these, you know what these are? You're not as old as me. These are actually films. You know, we used to take photos, put them in photographs. Those good old things. You're so lucky to be so young. Does anyone know what this is? This is LP. I remember when I go into a store and see all these being sold at discount prices because CDs were coming in. And none of you will know this. You only find these in museums. Yes. This is a slide rule. I was around using slide rules before calculators were invented. I was there. My point is, fellow Toastmasters, what could you do with these three things in a speech? Change. Everything changes. And that would help memorize things. I use these three props in a speech called, today's peacock is tomorrow's feather duster. Everything has a place. Everything has a sunny place in life. But ultimately, everything declines and fades. And something else, a new peacock takes its place. Our job in life is to elongate our sell-by date. That's what we have to do. For ourselves, our companies, for everything. That's the nature of life. But that's the message. These are the purpleizations of the message. Following? I have to tell you, one of the greatest speeches I've ever seen using a prop, and everyone has a chair in the house, do they not? Right? Everyone has a chair in the house. We'll make sure you all have one. Well, I saw a speech, and this won the International Speech Contest in 2004. Randy Harvey used the prop, a chair, 4 times in a 7-minute speech. 4 times. He starts off the speech by saying, when he was just a 7-year-old boy, they visited their uncle, and he stood outside while Dad went inside, and this pack of dogs started attacking. He jumped up on the car roof and cried for his father. This was a great prop, wasn't it? Jumped him up there. Then he goes on later on, at 16, he got his first car, Ford Fairlane, blue. Remember? He was sitting there, driving, singing, Cecilia, and away he went. And then all of a sudden, a horsefly flew in the window, got on his nose, and boom, taking bites the size of Texas. What a prop. But see, he uses it then simply changing the visual speaking height. A year later, tragedy struck. He was driving along at excessive speeds, and he hit the fence of the neighbours, and they hit the Mary Poppins fountain in the front yard, and big accident ensued, and his dad came to help him. He said, no, turn the 45-degree angle. Son, we can always replace the statue. We can never replace you. Right? You could have done that standing up. He did that. And then he talked about his parents, how they loved each other. How his father would come up behind his mother and put his arms around her, kiss her on the neck. Oh, I didn't know old people kiss like that. Imagine that, a simple prop, 4 times, memorable. My point is, what is there in your household right now that you can use as a speech? I mean, I could go on for half an hour, but I will give you another one. If I could say for $20, I can tell you how to save 100,000. I can tell you how to live better and longer. $20. Would you take it on? Well, my prop for that is this. The Age of 2 Diet. The best, simplest, and greatest health book I've ever read in my life. Kevin introduced it to me just 2 weeks ago. But seriously, if you ever want to see a great book, this is it. I've seen none as comparable as this. So this is the one. My point is, there are so many ways to purpleize your speech. I've only shown you the idea of the physical things. There's many ways you can do it through your vocal variety. You can do it through falling on the stage, which we've seen. You can do it with images. There is no end of opportunities to purpleize your speech. The point is, you have to be conscious of it before the speech so you can prepare it and plant the seeds. Then it becomes a living metaphor in the audience's mind. And they'll remember what you did, be it the slide rule or this or the camera, and that will bring back the whole speech and the point of your speech. And that way, each of you will become better speakers. Town Toastmasters.